Hello, I'm Gabriel Poarch, and welcome to the LUTV Sports Break, where we discuss interesting sports topics with our panel of sports reporters. For this episode, we have a special guest department of theater and dance chair. Golden Wright is here to talk football. Golden, are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Here we go. Some say it is too early to make picks for Super Bowl 56. Well, since this is the last LUTV Sports Break of the semester, we're going to do it anyway. Currently, the Baltimore Ravens are leading the AFC and the Phoenix Cardinals are atop the NFC. Will the standings hold, or will we see two other squads in the big game? Panel, who will be in the locker rooms during the Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem halftime show? What team will take their one shot to sip victory as the Super Bowl champion?
Hopefully me if I get to watch the halftime show. But for my choices so far, Gabe, I just have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being led by Tom Brady and the Baltimore Ravens being led by Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
That's simply because right now with their standings being 8-3 within their own, respective conferences, I think that they have a better chance of this year making it to the Super Bowl. I mean, Tampa Bay is already coming off another win from being there last year. Yeah. I just feel like they're still healthy enough and they still have the same tools and pieces that they had last season to go back again this season. Because at the end of the day, it's really experience over talent.
Okay. What about you, Golden?
I picked Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City, okay.
Yeah, and the Green Bay Packers.
Interesting.
I'll go that direction because I think there's the most important position on the field is the quarterback.
Yes,
and those two quarterbacks
definitely
are proven. They've proven that they can shine on the biggest stage. They seem to be catching their stride at the right time and during the season. Green Bay started really rough at the beginning, and they're building momentum. And right now, Kansas City's on a 4-game winning streak.
Yep.
I think it's lending itself in that direction.
What about you, Clinton?
See, my two teams I believe that's going to be playing in the Super Bowl will be Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Bills. I feel like a lot of
Bills?
people,
okay.
I feel like a lot of people are counting out the Bills, but what they don't realize is the Bills have actually a good defensive team where they haven't allowed over 2,000 yards this season. And I'm picking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just because I know the GOAT has been there.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, has been to this stage several times, and he actually knows how to lead a team. We all talk about quarterbacks leading the team, and he's like an action leader when he gets in big stages.
Yeah.
A lot of people put pressure on him. Knowing him, he know how to deal with it. And right now, he's first in touchdowns with 30 touchdowns and then second in yards. So those would be the two teams I'll be going with.
That is very true. So speaking of Tom Brady, I'm going to go with his former team with the Patriots and also, like Golden mentioned, the Packers. Because the Patriots, they're probably the hottest team in the AFC right now. They're currently on a 6-game win streak. Right. Mac Jones has been performing so far as the best rookie quarterback that's been taken this draft class.
That's true.
And the Packers, to me, they are also the hottest team because they currently have the best or the most wins in the NFC with 9, tied with the Cardinals. But the only reason why the Cardinals have a slightly better record is because they have had a bye game and the Packers haven't. So the Packers are 9-3 and the Cardinals are 9-2. But the thing about that is the Packers beat the Cardinals earlier in the season, so I give the Packers the advantage there when going up, choosing these two teams. So do y'all think that these teams will continue the success that they have, or will they start to decline or anything?
If you ask me, I believe Tampa Bay will still continue to have the success they have going on, just because once again it comes back to the GOAT. He did it last year where it was his first year, playing with one team, and then he took him to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. And this year, he's on the right path just as much as last year. And with the Bills, I believe their quarterback, and I would say this, even though the quarterback is the leader, I believe Stephon Diggs, who's a wide receiver, actually kind of helps out the team and lead the team and guide other people. So I feel like with him missing, the Bills are actually, their offense is nothing much, but, I believe with him playing, they have a higher chance of still being successful.
I want to talk quarterbacks for a minute.
Okay.
We've talked about that quite a bit. First, with your New England pick, do you know that a rookie quarterback has never won a Super Bowl nor made it to a Super Bowl?
That is true.
That is true.
So in doing that, as much as I like Bill Belichick, I really struggle with picking a team that's led by someone who's never made it to the playoffs, got wins in the playoffs. I think that there's a rite of passage, and we've seen that over time.
Yes.
On the other side of it, with Tom Brady, the GOAT, there's only 7 times ever has a team repeated.
True.
Okay, it's happened with 6 teams. One team has done it twice. We saw Patrick Mahomes really struggle with it. The last person to do it was Tom Brady, but that was 16 years ago. I think that's something that's a real struggle for me to go with Tom Brady because of everybody is really going at that they feel that that's the leader to beat. And so I really struggle with both of those teams.
So you mentioned the fact that rookie quarterbacks struggle or never really go to the Super Bowl. But the thing with Tom Brady is that even though his rookie year, he was a 4th-string quarterback, his first true starting year was the following season in 2001. So I would consider that to be like, even though it's technically not his rookie season, that was his like rookie season, in my opinion.
You still get to play against professionals for 3 straight years, whether it's on the practice or preseason and stuff.
True.
I mean, you get.
But he only played one game in his rookie season, and that was probably a filler game. So the fact that they were able to advance to the Super Bowl in that, in technically the second season of Tom Brady's career, they advanced to the Super Bowl. They played against the St. Louis Rams, who had one of the most prolific offenses in history with the greatest show on turf. They were able to beat them in the Super Bowl. So I think that an inexperience at quarterback in the Super Bowl is a factor, but if Bill Belichick can figure it out, then they will be able to succeed from that.
And disagree just because it is a factor, but you have to think about it. Well, Mac Jones, when he first was drafted and, like the first couple of games, he was not performing well, as all we all seen.
Yeah.
But as a rookie quarterback, for him to be having this kind of like great success early on in his career, I do believe that the Patriots don't have that defense where they could be able to make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, true, they've been winning games and everything, but their defense is not like to win games. You have to depend on defense and offense.
Their defense is good though.
You have, but their defense can't go against teams like Tampa Bay.
Because I'm about to say with Tom Brady, like this season alone, he's already had 3,403 yards that's been completed with 30 touchdowns completed and only 9 interceptions. So if you're having a man that's coming off like that, you're going to have to be bringing more than just, a good defense or, a good offense. Because don't forget, you still have Antonio Brown holding 418 yards this season with 4 touchdowns. And then Gronkowski having a 30-yard difference with 378 and still 4 touchdowns with 29 receptions for both of them. So they have the players and the pieces. So I feel like it's just more than just a quarterback type game. You got to look at the whole field, the whole, utensil array that you have to use. Because you don't just eat a steak with a spoon, You got to have your fork, your knife, all that. So I just feel like you got to look more. I just want to add on to what he was saying too, because then you got to think about it. Defensive side, they still have their passing rushers, Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul, and Jason Tyrone. Those all play assets into winning the game. If you go into the game just thinking, I'm going to win this game with just offense, then you made a mistake.
But the New England defense isn't as bad as y'all are saying because they're currently ranked 4th overall with allowing 316.7 yards per game. They also have the 6th most sacks in the league, and they have the 2nd most takeaways in the NFL with 25. Plus, their offense has the highest point differential with 140 something.
They do have the highest turnover differential. They have the best at +10. I do agree that their defense gives their offense the ball on a regular basis, which makes it a wonderful situation for a rookie quarterback.
So now that we've all discussed our opinions on who we think is going to be in the Super Bowl, now who do you think is actually going to win against the 2 teams that you picked?
I'm going with Brady.
Brady?
As much as what he said, it's a tough time, seeing quarterbacks go back to Super Bowl and win it twice. Regardless of that, I'm still going with Brady.
Okay.
I'm basically going off looking from not only watching them play, but also stat-wise. Like, just the last game alone, Lamar has already had 4 interceptions compared to Tom Brady, who only had 1. And even though,
one game.
I know, but even throughout the whole season, he's had 12 interceptions, where still Brady has only had 9. So in a game like that.
Plus, Lamar's played in a lot of close games, and he'd have to come behind from a lot of time. So come behind from more often than not. So I feel like in the playoffs, that's not going to be able to happen if they get into that situation.
You don't really have star players and key players. Because most of the time, he's running the ball, trying to be a running back and a quarterback at the same time. And
then you got players on his team like Rashad Bateman who don't even really average up to the points that they really need to get their game. So if you keep having players like that compared to Antonio Brown and Gronkowski, who's each averaging about like 8 touchdowns together, like that's not gonna stop anything. My struggle there is the passer rating for
the top 8 quarterbacks that are in the playoffs or the playoff hunt right now that we've talked about or expanded, he has the worst passer rating. He also, which really struggles. I mean, it drops off significantly with that. I mean, his is in the 80s, where everybody else is in the high 90s or low 100 in that passer rating. So I disagree with that. I'm going to go a little different directions. I'm going to say the Chiefs over the Bucks. I mean, the Chiefs over the Packers. I think right now that broken toe with Aaron Rodgers, I think that it's a little bit of a struggle. I think he has a tougher path to get to the Super Bowl. I'm going to say that I like Mahomes. And where they're going right now with that 4-game winning streak, they're peaking at the right time.
Plus, their defense is starting to improve a lot.
it.
That's the main reason why they're on that 4-game winning streak, because of their defense. The offense hasn't been performing like as we have normally seen, but they haven't had to because of how stellar their defense has been.
They've also limited the number of turnovers on offense. Early in the season, they had a bunch, and now that's really diminished.
Yep.
It is true. But quick question for you: since you're going with them, do you think their defense is good enough to hold up Aaron Rodgers? Let's say Aaron Rodgers, toes get better and end up playing, and those two teams actually end up meeting the Super Bowl. Do you think your defense is that good to hold off Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I think based off of where this is, their defenses are very similar. Right. But I really they're like 8-12 on, which is very similar. I think the difference is the number of weapons that Mahomes has.
And with Rodgers, I feel like his number one weapon, and everybody know that like his go-to is number 17.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, and I feel like a lot of people figure it out, but somehow Devontae Adams still makes it look good. He went against Jalen Ramsey and still, kind of like had a breakthrough game where Jalen Ramsey usually, any star wide receiver that lined up against him, he kind of makes him look average. But against Devontae Adams, Devontae Adams actually had shown him out, improve, which is great to see. So I'm kind of curious how it's going to play out.
With my pick, I chose the Patriots and the Packers. I am going to have to go with the Packers because there's a lot of similarities between this season and the season that they last went to the Super Bowl, which was 2011. 2011, they were ranked 15th in total offense, or that's this season. They were ranked in 24th. They were 9th total offense in 2011. They're ranked 15 this year. So I think there's a lot of factors that will make the Packers the favorite, because the Packers, they've been winning a lot of games with most of their key players. Jair Alexander is out. Za'Darius Smith is out. So that defense has been performing really well, considering the fact that they have their key players missing. So I feel like once their key players that I mentioned, Jair Alexander come back and Za'Darius Smith come back, it's going to make that defense even more impenetrable. So I give that to the Packers over the Patriots, and the Packers would be my Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, they just got to make sure Rodgers come back good, with the toe and all.
Let's see, because last time he won a game, he didn't practice, and he still came back. So off injury,
Plus they have a bye week, so they have a little bit of time for that toe injury to heal. So I feel like after the bye week, I feel like that toe injury is not going to be a factor as much.
I say Aaron will come out there.
Well, let's see what Aaron got in store for us.
So we've all discussed our picks and we picked our winners. So LUTV Sports Break will be right back after Super Bowl 56 to see who was right and who was wrong. Thank you, panel, and thank you for tuning into LUTV Sports Break this semester. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for more Lamar University sports. See you next time.